Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope that you're all having a great Monday, and welcome to Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth. In today's video, we're going to be talking everything about the upcoming Lord of the Rings title that's going to be global launching on Wednesday, May the 10th. Now, some of you may know I've been talking about this game already, and as you can see in the background, I'm level 38 and growing, so I have been playing this since the, what they call the roster reset. There was about a week and a half ago where all of the rosters from the beta and the pre-launch was reset. Then there was a bit of a 2-week period where you could get in on in the limited territory release before the global launch. A lot of this was outside of North America, but I'm playing this on my Android device and was able to play this early. And you still can as well, and we'll actually talk about that if you do want to get involved with this before Wednesday. But I do want to talk about why I think this is going to be a really good game going forward. No, this is not a sponsored video, but I am considering doing content. I will be doing content for this going forward, especially post-global launch. There's actually going to be a video, for a global launch, sort of beginner's guide video from my experiences from playing this both over the last 2 weeks, but also on the pre-release as well, because I played it then as well. So I have a new YouTube channel that's going to be set up for that, and I want to talk about that really quick here. And so that's going to be the Boilons at Boilon LoTR, so youtube.com/@Boilon LoTR or Boilon LoTR Heroes of Middle-earth. That's the channel name here, and I would actually love it, especially if you're thinking of engaging in Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth, to subscribe to the channel, because we need to get this second channel monetized, we need to get this going, and we need some watch time. So hopefully that you guys will watch the videos. You'll see a lot of similar content that you might expect from my Marvel Strike Force content. So if you're wanting to double dip both in Marvel Strike Force and in Lord of the Rings, then do help me out. I know there's a lot of great people out here who watch my channel for Marvel Strike Force content, and I hope that you'll help support me on the Lord of the Rings endeavor, because I do need to get my subscriber count above 1,000. That shouldn't be that difficult, guys, because there's tons of subscribers on my Marvel Strike Force channel. So even some of you, even if you don't play the game, honestly, if you could just go over there and support me on this channel and get my sub count up, that would be really amazing. It shouldn't be that difficult, because there's tons of great followers here on my main channel. But I do want to talk about the game, of course, and so without further ado, nope, that's not my line anymore. If you're ready to go, let's boil this down. Can't be a Boilon channel, a Boilon video without me messing something up. Alright, so as you guys know, like I said, the global launch is happening on May the 10th. This is a tweet that they did just the other day. Actually, it's posted on May the 4th anyways, with a picture of, so there's a lot of minion characters that were in the game, and we'll talk about that a little bit too, but they changed their name to Ealdred. Now everyone has a name, so they got rid of the minion names, and everyone has a real name, like a Lord of the Rings-esque name. So May the 10th. I also kind of want to bring this up. This was their early bird reward. So if you pre-register right now before May the 10th, then you can get some of these rewards that I'll share with you that I got as well in-game. I think there's going to be even more when the global launch hits. So I'm going to be very excited about this, and this is going to help you start your account. There's going to be some extra resources that you'll be able to start with, so that's going to be really cool. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my Lord of the Rings channel. But let's get back to the game. So I want to share actually with you very quickly before we get going. This was some of the founders, early pre-reg stuff. I think there's going to be even more, because this was before some of the additional milestones were hit on the pre-registration. So this is just some early content. And for those who aren't familiar, gems in Lord of the Rings is sort of the premium currency. Think about it like power cores if you're coming from Marvel Strike Force. What is Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth? It's a game designed by Capital Games, who are behind who did Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. It is an EA title, subsidiary, or EA is the umbrella company, I guess, in control of this. So I know what a lot of you are saying. I've heard this before. It's not going to be that much different than Scopely and Marvel Strike Force. And, I'm still willing and going to give this a go, because I love getting started on hero collector games from the ground up. And that's exactly what this is, because for the most part, you're going to be pretty close with everyone else who's going to be playing this at the same time. You're going to be grinding up. You're going to be, getting stronger relatively within the same time period. And that's some of the best experiences, in my opinion, in new games. And that's what I like, is that sort of that new, fresh experience. But it's also familiarity. You know, we're kind of, from coming from Marvel Strike Force anyways, you know, this is stuff that we're kind of used to. We're used to the hero collection aspect, the roster grinding of that. And so if you are someone who, you might not even be a Lord of the Rings fan, and you still might be interested in this anyways, but if you are a Lord of the Rings fan, then hopefully this will help you a little bit more. And I do want to go out on a limb and say that the graphics that you may see here on my BlueStacks is not what it actually is in reality. It is actually better. BlueStacks is just really, really bad when it comes to optimizing, you know, even for Marvel Strike Force, but just in general, it's not very good when it comes to optimizing game graphics. And so when I have this on my actual device, it looks better in-game, especially when it comes to, you know, some of the in-battle scenes as well. So I just want to throw that out there. And this is Strider here. Yeah, I mean, some people might not really appreciate the cartoony style of graphics. People might have wanted the movie style graphics. That's just not possible. I believe that the art style that they're going for anyways is more akin to what you would see imagined in the books. You know, that kind of stuff is what I heard about when I watched some of their official developer videos and things like that. So you do have a lot of characters that are familiar at this point. Also, I expect, this is pre-global launch, a couple days before global launch, so I expect some new things to come in. You know, they've been adding patch notes like every week when they do updates and bug fixes and things like that. What kind of characters exist right now? It depends on light side and dark side. Sorry, that's like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. Light and Shadow is what I should have said. Let's take a look at the light characters. We do have the Rohanians. We have Rangers like Strider, so he's not Aragorn. I assume because it's like Capital Games, they may have additional characters of the same character. It's not so much different that we're getting now in Marvel Strike Force with the Incursion characters, is it? Multiversal characters. But we have Eowyn and the Rohanians, Eomir, Eothane. We have the Hobbits. There's some non-finished synergy characters because they kind of took out some of the traded characters of some dwarves, but like Gimli's not in it now. But he might come in for global launch because they removed like a dozen characters for this limited release, and they may add them back in for global launch. I'm not really sure what their formula is going to be for new character releases going forward. So we won't know for sure until we get to Wednesday, and I'll be doing an additional video on my channel for that as well. So on my Lord of the Rings channel, we'll be doing a pre-global launch, you know, top tips kind of thing based on the information that I know from playing this for the last little while. And that's not going to be in this video though. So you're going to want to check out that video, which is going to be released a little bit after this video on my main channel so that you guys have a chance to subscribe to the channel and check it out if you're interested. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have another video on the global launch, what's changed basically since then, if anything, and what to expect going forward. So there's going to be some exciting times over the next couple of days. But as far as the additional characters, yeah, a lot of these are kind of like minions that were renamed into a real character. So, you know, don't feel bad if you don't know who these are because they were originally minions. And I'll point out who were not or who aren't minions. Elro here and Halbarad, these are some ranger and elf characters. Feely and Killy, you might recognize them from The Hobbit. And then we have Mary down below. We also have Sam. Sam was up here as well with the Hobbits too. So that's kind of your light side just now as it sits. There were legendary characters, quote-unquote legendary characters like Elrond, who was out in the pre-release, but they removed him, although he may come back in the global launch. The shadow characters, these are your evil guys. We have the Haradrim. We have the Mordor orcs. We have Isengard orcs, we have goblins, the Great Goblin as well, who's the leader. And some of these characters have leader traits. So they're well established as the character backbone for that team. Now, what's great about what's great about Lord of the Rings is that it's not really strict on this synergy like Marvel Strike Force is, and I'm really glad. There is mixing and matching based on how good their kits are, which you can do, which is really, really great. And we'll talk about some of these really good characters in my other video if you want to go along to my Lord of the Rings channel and check out the global launch tips there. And then, of course, some characters, some bigger name characters. Bolg, you may know him, possibly. He's from the Misty Mountains. And lots of other, a lot of the shadow characters, I'll admit, are kind of minion-esque. But their broader team trait, though, are, you know, things you may or may not be familiar with. So the Dunlendings are from Dunland. There's also, like I said, the Haradrim. The characters that are not in it just now are the Nazgul, who were removed temporarily. I'm hoping that they'll come back. The Ringwraiths, of course, as a team. The Witch King is actually, allegedly, the first legendary character that's going to be coming to Lord of the Rings, and hopefully we'll be getting that pretty soon. And Shagrat. He is part of the Mordor orc team as well. So what's in the game just now? Well, you know, I'll admit, it's pretty basic so far. You have the standard campaigns. You know, this isn't pretty atypical. Untypical? It's pretty common in these types of games. We have the light campaign and we have the shadow campaign, where you can only, just like Heroes and Villains, where you can only use your light characters and your shadow characters in these campaigns. There's also the guild campaign, which I haven't. There's some, you know, there's a bug going on right now today. So the guild campaign is typically open. You need to be level 10 and have a guild, and then you're able to do. This is basically like your Nexus campaign. But it uses a completely separate energy, as you can see above, called Guild Energy. But you can use either characters from Light and Shadow in this campaign, which is pretty nice. So the early game is going to be a lot of campaign grinding. And if you remember from Marvel Strike Force, I know that's probably a long time ago for some of you, that's what a lot of it was in the beginning. And as a new title, you know, you're going to be spending a decent amount of time, at least for the first couple of weeks, you know, grinding the campaigns, getting 3 stars on levels so that you can farm gear and shards for characters. So you'll find, at least in Lord of the Rings, you'll find that character shards are actually on the hard difficulty of the campaign, which unlock after you clear the regular difficulty. And that's where you can see some of the characters here on the different nodes that you would farm. And this is finite. So you can only do this like once per day. Very typical of Marvel Strike Force. So you get like 2x every time you would, you know, get the shards for that. Now, what else is in the game? We also have the arenas as well. That's pretty, you know, it's very Marvel Strike Force. You know, there's different leaderboard tiers. I think I'm somewhere in the top 200 of players. So on the side here, there's like these very high ranks with the crystals that you get as your payout and arena credits. And then down here, there's like the mithril tier. This is like top 100 right here, this and above. And so I'm at gold 2. So I'm like in the top 300 right now of the people that have started early. And there may be some familiar names up here. I remember seeing Tana and Darky Dad up here. I don't know if they're still up there. Maybe they got thrown back a little bit. There's Darky Dad, and Tana might be somewhere further back in here. But I know that they're playing because they're planning on doing content for this game as well, just like I am. So yeah, they're up there too. And the guilds, I do have a guild running right now. Oh, no, the guilds are bugged right now. But anyways, I do have my own guild. There's a couple spots, but admittedly, it is very competitive because people have been requesting that quite a bit. And I think I just froze my own game. That's not a good sign when I'm making a video like this. But anyways, we could back out. There's some issues with the guild right now. And there is kind of event campaigns right now. We have a Sam Gamgee event campaign. It's kind of like an event campaign. You can use light characters for the tier 1 normal difficulty of the campaign, and there's like various streams of this, and you can use any light character. But when you get to about tier 2, this is when it starts getting a little bit familiar to legendary campaigns in Marvel Strike Force. Tier 2, which is more shards for Sam, requires you to have 4 Road to Rivendell. That's a trait that they have at 4 stars. So that would include Pippin, Merry, Frodo, and Strider for you to get more shards for Sam. So this was out when the game came back up after the the roster reset and things like that. And I don't know if this is what we're going to be expecting going forward for legendary campaigns in general, but, from what I've heard about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, you should expect something like a 4 or 5 star, for a set of characters that you would need for that. So for the Witch King, for those who are getting involved into this game, allegedly it's the Haradrim that may be coming, but we don't have any official confirmation yet. And this uses a unique Apple energy system, so it's like 1 per 4 hours, so it's essentially 6 over 24 hours. Anyways, that's available right now as well, and of course there is challenges that are in the game. This is pretty typical as well for Marvel Strike Force. There's 6 different challenges. You can do them 3 times a week. I believe it's Sunday that has all of them. Again, pretty common compared to Marvel Strike Force, so there's 3 times a week for most of these. Requires different characters. You know the drill from Marvel Strike Force. I don't need to talk much about that. And this is the most exciting thing, because there are going to be raids coming soon. I don't think it's going to be on global launch. They made mention of this, that it may be for Q3 2023, which to me Q3 is July, so it's about 2 months away. But this gives time for you to build your roster, for you to get, and hopefully there's going to be more details on this coming pretty soon, because this is going to be very important, I think, for content, for playing and staying engaged with this on a daily basis. So I am very looking forward to this. It's going to be pretty exciting, and just making sure that I can get my account up. You do need a minimum level of 30 for raids, and this is me with like 10 days in since the roster reset. I'm at level 38. Yes, I think that the cap is level 60. There is green gear, there is blue gear, and there's a little bit of purple gear, I think, which is the early gear tier 8, I want to say. So that's kind of where things cap out just now. But there's going to be some stuff going forward, and of course there's going to be some, early global launch offers that you can take advantage of, and I'm having a lot of fun. Honestly, I'm having fun manually playing this game, believe it or not. And of course, we also have supplies, just to end things off. This is very common, just like in Marvel Strike Force, there's different tabs. We have the main store, which you can buy some shards for some premium currency and buy some gear. There's the arena tab, where you can buy some characters. The challenge tab, this one's a bit awkward, because you don't get very many of these tokens. And then the guild token store, where you can buy some stuff and some character shards in there. But we'll be talking about all of this and more, including more details as well, in my Lord of the Rings channel, where you can get some tips and strategies on how to get ahead in this game. So hopefully that you guys might be interested in playing this. And like I said, do check out the channel as well and subscribe to the Boilon Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth YouTube channel. That would be greatly appreciated. And of course, if you're looking to play a little bit early, do check it out in my Discord channel. I do have a how to install, LoTR how to install on my Discord if you're a member there. If you're not part of the Boilon Discord community, then click on the link in the description below. There is a Discord link down below that's always active, so you can get on this here, or just DM me directly for whatever reason you can't find it. I'm always available. So that's the end of this video, everyone. I hope that you'll join the fun with me in Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth, and this launches on Wednesday for the global launch. So whether you start now or whether you wait till Wednesday, hopefully I'll see you there. And that's the end of this video. So until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.